Good morning, everybody. Where do we begin? Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Hope. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you? I'm delighted to be here.
I've been better.
Yeah, me too.
I love that we're traders.
Yeah.
We're being called traders, right?
I think at 11, was it you that sent me the text, or someone said that you said the Benedict and Arnold show?
Oh, yeah, that's the new name of the show, Benedict and Arnold in the morning. This is extremely strange, to say the least. There's no Anthony. Anthony's seat is empty. You should sit there.
I can't do it.
Everyone wants you to sit there.
No, but I want it to be really obnoxious and write Jim on paper and cover all the Anthonys in here. Just so when people came in and filmed, like, what a dick already.
Well, they're ripping down the wall, too.
Are they really?
Yeah, they've changed the name of the channel. They're ripping down the walls. They're pretty much, changing everything. And they want us to go along with that.
What are they calling the channel now? What is the temporary name?
I don't know.
They gave it. I remember it was a good name. It really sparkled. I like the name that they went with.
SXM or SMX or what?
Like SiriusXM Talk.
Yeah.
That's cool. It really has a nice pizzazz to it.
I think they want us to save the channel, but they got rid of Tim Sabian. They got rid of Anthony. They changed the name of the channel. They got rid of all the archives and then said, "Go have at it, boys."
Yeah.
We're in a horrendous spot.
Yeah.
We're in a horrible spot. We're in a shitty position.
Here's what it's like. We were having a threesome.
Right.
And the chick just got up to vomit in the bathroom, so Ope and I are just kind of in bed.
Yeah.
Not too sure what to do.
Yeah.
We both still have hard-ons.
Yeah.
Not going to take care of each other.
Yeah, exactly.
So now what?
I mean, we could start with this. We have no choice. We have to be here. We're under contract. We're not excited to be here at this moment in time. Maybe this develops into something new and exciting. Who the F knows? I don't know. But, wow. Oh, I should mention we're on YouTube right now. We're trying some live event thing on my YouTube channel. Opie Radio. Nice cheap plug.
Yeah, I can't stop looking at the camera. I don't know how to operate when there's cameras in here.
Yeah.
I panic.
Do you really?
I'm trying to get FaceTime. Keep looking. Yeah, I mean, people, look, I understand people are fiercely...
Well, look, fuck the channel, fuck the name, fuck you guys. Thank you.
Those are just things I've said.
Right.
People are very loyal to Anthony, and it's like...
We're loyal to Anthony.
We're loyal to Anthony. This is not a disloyal thing. We are under contract, and you can't just not show up for work.
Well, speaking of which, because people are always wondering, Anthony wrote me and Jimmy this morning the exact text from Anthony to me. This will shine light on things, hopefully. I know you guys are in a strange position, but good luck tomorrow. I totally understand what you guys have to do, and it's cool. Let me know how things go. Keep in touch, yo. So there you go.
That was nicer than the one I got.
Oh, what was yours?
Have fun in a few hours, you traitor fuck. Sign A to the C.
I guess we could start from the beginning, now that we're settling in a little bit. Our last show was just before the big 4th of July weekend. It was on a Tuesday, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And we ended our show early because we had an actual meeting with Scott Greenstein down the hall. And the meeting was another shitty meeting, to be completely honest with you. I told Scott and the company, if you want me and Jimmy to come back, we got to be honest. If you're going to gag us and give us some kind of gag order, there's no effing way we're going back on the radio, okay? So we had a meeting with Scott, and it was just another kind of shitty meeting, a lot of excuses why this can't be done and that can't be done and why we're not doing this, why we're not doing that. And we all left that office kind of bummed out, and we were just kind of mingling around outside the building, just kind of talking and going, God, man, what is it going to take to, get these guys on board with us in the radio show? Right. Right.
You mean this is before we went on vacation?
Yeah. It was right after our last show. Which, by the way, if E-Rock could pull the audio, Jimmy was the last person to talk, I believe, and he said, "This is our last live show," and something in my gut just sank. There was something about how you said that, and I was like, "Oh no."
I don't remember saying that, but yeah, you said I had said that, and I don't remember it.
But I remember thinking to myself, was that our last live show? Because we always wondered, because we've been doing this radio show for a long time. We always knew that it would just blow up someday. We weren't going to have the nice, easy out. We all knew that. We all felt that. We just didn't know how it was going to happen. So Tuesday, we did our last live show. We had kind of a shitty meeting with Scott down the hall, kind of depressed, kind of bummed out, like, fuck, man, now what, you know? And we all kind of went our separate ways. And then, of course, you know, Anthony had that incident in Times Square that we all know about at this point. And
yes, we're the fake deaf interpreter from Nelson Mandela's funeral, and he had a run-in
right.
with an unattractive lady.
Basically, he got beat up by a woman.
Yeah.
I mean, the jokes, that's what drives me nuts. If we would have made it on the air, after that incident, he would have got a nice beating.
It would have been something comedians lined up for 3 years.
Absolutely. What did Keith Robinson tell you? Because we've been talking a lot ever since this all went down.
Just the teasing that we could have. He's like, oh, just the teasing.
Didn't he say something about it's his Reginald Denny moment or something?
No, I didn't. I didn't say that. That's funny though.
The Ruth Buzzy line?
I know.
You don't remember?
No, I honestly don't.
Huh. Maybe there's someone else that told me.
Probably someone else. That's not familiar.
Maybe it was Bill Burr.
You talked to Bobby or Bill?
I did talk to Bill Burr. It might have been Bill Burr. Okay. Oh, I thought they told you too that basically, you know, it was his Ruth Buzzy moment. But anyway, so Anthony had that incident in Times Square, and then he goes home and on Twitter he went nuts, and we've all seen that before, whether it's on the air or on his Twitter. But I gotta be honest. When I woke up Wednesday, did it happen Tuesday night? I'm trying to get
Tuesday into Wednesday.
Right? So Wednesday morning, I wake up really early, around 5:36 in the morning every weekend, and I always check, your Twitter. I check Ant's Twitter and all my friends, and I read Ant's tweets, and I said to myself, I swear to you, I said, oh my God, we're fired. That needs to be said. There was just something different about it. I'm like, oh my God, we're fired, because I think it was just the amount of tweets that he did. And they were harsh. I mean, they absolutely were harsh. And I understand why, because he was really mad at what happened. But I just knew in my gut, I'm like, this is not going to go well. Even though we, work for a company, as much as we bitch, they give us a lot of freedom on the radio. They've never really told us not to do anything. It's all the behind-the-scenes stuff that drives us nuts. But we've had a lot of freedom as far as our radio show goes. But just the culture we live in, I'm like, this is not good, man. This doesn't feel right. And I said to myself, we're fired. We're so fired. What were you thinking when you?
Well, I got a text from my ex-girlfriend, from we're still friends, and she's like, what happened with Anthony? It's like whenever you hear that, you're like, oh fuck.
Right.
And she's like, did he get beat up by a woman or hit by a woman?
Right.
And then I went and saw the tweets, and it's like, I'm not surprised in the morning when I see that somebody has tweeted late at night. But there was one or two that I was like, oh, man, like, oof.
Right.
And I actually texted Ann about something to see, I was like, are you okay, first of all?
Right.
Because I couldn't tell if you had gotten fucked up or not.
Right, of course.
And then I got really nervous once it hit, like, the first blog or whatever. I was like, oh, this is not good.
And then I sat there. I saw it hit the first blog, and then I saw it just grow. And we've been there before. I'm like, oh, man, because you just know when it just goes viral in that way, companies get really panicky.
Because they're not used to getting phone calls from newspapers asking questions like this. Like they're not like they're regular. They come to work. They're not used to like Page 6 calling them or something. Going, could you comment on this? Like on what? Like they're not. That's not what they're used to doing.
Sure. But I want to make it perfectly clear. Ant was pissed off, and when you're pissed off, which we've said many times in this radio show, you say horrible, awful things. But with that said, I just knew it was different when I woke up and read those. I'm like, man, I don't know if SiriusXM is gonna deal with this in the right way, in my opinion, which is to just kind of ride it out and see what happens.
And he said harsh things, but he didn't do harsh things. Like it was really the thing that I and this is where the press, I was annoyed at the press because if they go with the angle that you always know they're going to go with, maybe it's just what they do for a living, that's how they make their money. But the fact was that he didn't Like if I had a pistol and that happened, I would have pulled it in sheer panic, and he didn't.
Right.
And he didn't hit the woman back,
right.
which I don't know if I would have hit her back because I would have been mighty afraid of getting the shit kicked out of me or getting cut with a box cutter.
Of course.
But I would have reacted much. I probably would have reacted differently on Twitter, but I would have reacted much worse in the situation.
Right.
I would have done something really, truly rude. Like imagine if he had punched that woman in the face, or done something harsh physically to her. That's what the story would have been, and he would have been in trouble for that. It was like, I wish that the press had concentrated more on the fact that, like, all right, yeah, he said some shit that I'm sure if he could go back, he'd go, like, I want to reword that.
Right.
Or rephrase. Even if you wanted to say what he wanted to say, sometimes you go back, you rephrase. But I wish they would have concentrated on the fact that he did not do anything fucking violent while he was being struck.
Of course.
I think that's an important part of the story.
Oh, absolutely. So then, like you, I texted him as well to make sure he was all right. It seemed like, there was no real injuries or anything. But he talked about his eye. It was a little messed up.
Yeah, he sent me a photo of it, the fact that he'd gotten clocked in the face a couple of times. And you could definitely see something happened to him.
So then the thing started growing, and I'm just like sitting there just hoping. But I just knew in my gut, because we've seen this, unfortunately. I just knew. And then, then I got the word from our agent, who I haven't talked to in months.
Yeah.
That they fired Anthony. I'm like, what? Meaning, why didn't they fire all of us? Because our contracts are connected.
Yeah.
In that way. So they could have fired the whole show. I'm like, wow, that puts us in a fucking extremely strange position. So then obviously I got on the phone with Anthony and we talked, and the conversation was very lethargic, to be honest with you. It was just like, fuck. It was almost like, we both were just exhausted by the trip we've been through in the last, 10 years on satellite radio. And it was like, well, let's just see what happens. We've been through this before. Let's see what happens. But once again, if I'm going to be honest, there was something about that phone call, like, man, this just seems different all around. You know what I mean? Just seems different for whatever reason, I mean, people could say whatever the fuck they want, but the fact is me and Ant have been getting along very well lately, and the radio show was on a tear, leading up to the incident. So then we kind of hung up and just both just sat there trying to figure shit out. And then I got the call from the company saying, we're continuing with you and Jimmy. And I'm like, well, how the hell is that going to work? How is that going to work? It needs to be said that we're under contract, and people are like, just walk out, just tell them go fuck themselves. But I don't think people understand fully, what being under contract means and what breach of contract means.
Yeah, and the nature of this, and it's like I gave the fans who were tweeting even really harsh shit at Opie and me, and a lot of you guys tweeted some brutal fuck it. I understood it.
Like, yeah, I understand where the energy's coming from, but
I blocked 20 people total in 2 weeks, which is not a lot.
Right.
It's like that's usually a daily block for me.
Right.
But it's like I understood people were very frustrated, and they just wanted something. They wanted us to come out and say something that would just make it okay and concrete. And the reality was, it was a holiday weekend. I didn't know were we actually going to make it back on the air.
Right.
And you guys have to understand something too. Like, it's hard when all of a sudden you think, like, okay, am I just going to lose? Like, I have a 25% of a year's salary coming. Like, is that just gone now? Do I have to just all of a sudden go back on the road on dates that I didn't realize I was going to have to fill? Like, I'm panicking because of myself too. You guys have to understand we have our own financial worries.
Of course.
I mean, I do well in life, but I don't have. I can just step away money and not.
Right. And I do way better than Jim Norton.
Yes, he does.
Financially.
Yes, and the cock department. 2 for 2 is good.
I'm trying to get everything out, so I did forget something, which is really important, by the way. So when they told me that Anthony was fired, people have been wondering this for a while. I was pretty quiet on Twitter and all that. I absolutely do not believe that Anthony should have been fired, okay? And the company probably is going to get really mad at that after this radio show. But I do not believe that he should have been fired. As harsh as the tweets were, as much as I had that gut feeling this was going to go down, I just do not agree with them whatsoever. They